Good evening. September 16, 2014. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required in the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In the event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the chambers is through the three doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out the front door and move away from the area of the front steps. Any members of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Here.
Crosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Minichinko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here. I'll ask for a motion for approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of August 19th, 2014.
Council President, I seek approval of the regular minutes of August 19, 2014, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown. Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We have two presentations this evening, one for the Pulaski Day Parade. Councilwoman Yamakaitis.
Yes, I'd like to call up Sister Irene. Reverend Marshal Canon Marisol Kroll is out of town, so she'll be representing him. I'd also like to call up Ms. Sue Lukenda, who's the president of the Pulaski Parade Organization. Her daughter Tiffany, she'll be accepting her resolution. And our junior Miss Polonia, Sophie Katulski. And I'd ask Mayor and Mr. Sadowski to please come forward.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay, Sister Irene, would you please come forward? This year, our Pulaski Parade Committee in Linden has given the honor of being the marshal for the Linden contingent in New York Parade to Reverend Canon Marisol Kroll. We had our sashing dinner 2 weeks ago, and it was a beautiful event. And we invite anyone that would like to join the Linden contingent walking down Fifth Avenue in New York to please contact Mr. Sadowski, myself, or Ms. Lukenda. So it's a real honor to have our Marshal and Ms. Polonius represent our city. So I have the pleasure of giving this resolution to Father Kroll, and I'd like to read it. Whereas Reverend Canon Marisol Kroll has been selected to serve as the 2014 Marshal to the 77th Annual Pulaski Day Parade in New York City on Sunday, October 5th, by the General Pulaski Memorial Committee of St. Teresa's, Linden, to represent thousands of Linden residents of the Polish descent. And whereas Reverend Canon Marisol Kroll was born in Gorlich, Poland, to Marion and Helen Kroll, and whereas Reverend Canon Kroll began his preparation for the priesthood at the Seminary of Christ the King in Gdansk, thanks, Sister, Poland, and received a degree in philosophy from there. And whereas Reverend Canon Kroll went on to continue his studies at SS Cyril and Methodist Seminary in Orchard Lake, Michigan, and then to the Immaculate Conception Seminary in Seton Hall University in South Orange, New Jersey, where he completed his M.A. in Systematic Theology. And whereas he was ordained a priest by Archbishop Theodore E. McCarrick at the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Newark, New Jersey. And whereas, since his ordination as priest, Reverend Canon Kroll has served in many assignments, including St. Elizabeth's Parish, Wyckoff, Our Lady of Czestochowa, Harrison, Dean of Human Formation of the Polish American Seminary of St. Cyril and Methodist, Orchard Lake, Michigan, Director of the Friends of the Blessed St. John Paul I Be Not Afraid Center in the United States, Pastor of St. Teresa of the Child Jesus, Linden, the first rector of the Archdiocese Shrine of Blessed John Paul II, and whereas Reverend Canon Kroll has also served as coordinator of the Polish Apostolate for the Archdiocese of Newark, president of the New Jersey chapter of John Paul II Vatican Foundation, honorary canon of St. Florian and Blessed John Paul II Charter in Krakow, Poland, currently also serves as a chaplain of the Linden Police and Fire Departments, has held many other prestigious appointments, and whereas it is proper and fitting that the mayor and the council of the city of Linden recognize Reverend Canon Marisol Kroll for the honor bestowed upon him to represent the city of Linden and its Pulaski Day Parade contingent. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and the council of the city of Linden that they do hereby congratulate Reverend Canon Marisol Kroll on being selected as the 2014 Linden Pulaski Parade Marshal. Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations, sister.
Thank you.
I'm also going to make the presentation to Tiffany Lukenda, but before I do, I'd like to mention and remind everybody that October 5th is when we're going to be marching. The contingent from St. Teresa's Church is going to be marching down Fifth Avenue, celebrating Polish heritage. And there's nothing that makes me more proud when I'm in such a large contingent, because Linden has one of the largest contingents in the Pulaski Day Parade, than when we're marching down with this large contingent down Fifth Avenue and we're getting greeted by all the parade watchers. It's truly a remarkable experience, and everybody's invited, regardless of your heritage, to help celebrate Pulaski Day at the Pulaski Day Parade. And now I'd like to present this to Tiffany Lukenda. It's a proclamation. Whereas the General Pulaski Memorial Day Parade Committee of St. Teresa's, Linden, New Jersey, recently crowned Tiffany Lukenda as a 2014 Miss Polonia to represent Linden at the annual Pulaski Day Parade in New York City on Sunday, October 5th, 2014. And whereas Tiffany Lukenda, the daughter of Susan and 2013 Linden contingent Marshal Christopher Lukenda, is a senior at Roselle Catholic High School, and whereas Tiffany Lukenda has distinguished herself at the Roselle Catholic High School by being inducted into the National Honor Society and the French Honor Society, and whereas Tiffany is also involved in the Roselle Catholic Marist Youth Program, which focuses on volunteer work and bettering the community, whereas Tiffany desires to help people, led to her decision to go on to college to study biopsychology and become a psychiatrist when she graduates high school. And whereas Tiffany also enjoys writing, reading, playing bass guitar, and going to concerts with friends in her spare time. And whereas Tiffany Lukenda is proud of her Polish heritage and also served as the 2007 Junior Miss Polonia representing Linden. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Linden are proud to have Tiffany Lukenda representing the city of Linden as the 2014 Miss Polonia at the annual Pulaski Day Parade. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden that I hereby congratulate Tiffany Lukenda for being selected the 2014 Miss Polonia to represent the city of Linden at the Pulaski Day Parade, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be entered into the minutes of the council of the city of Linden, and that a copy hereto be presented to Tiffany Lukenda in recognition of her prestigious honor. And I present this to Tiffany, and taking the proclamation will be her mother, Susan.
Thank Good evening. This is a resolution honoring Sophie Katulski as the 2014 Linden Contingent Junior Miss Polonia to the Pulaski Parade. Are you ready? Okay. Whereas the General Pulaski Memorial Parade Committee of St. Teresa's Linden Incorporated recently crowned Sophie Katulski, 2014 Junior Miss Polonia, to represent Linden at the annual Pulaski Day Parade in New York City on Sunday, October 5th, 2014. And whereas Sophie Katulski is 10 years old, the daughter of Edmund and Ursula Katulski, and is extremely proud of her Polish heritage. And whereas Sophie attends elementary school in Clark, where she plays clarinet in the school band and is a member of the Kiwanis K-Kids Club. And whereas she attends Polish supplementary school every Saturday, where, in addition to already speaking Polish fluently, she's learning to read and write in Polish. And whereas Sophie attends religious education classes at St. Teresa of the Child Jesus, where she is a member of the Children of Mary group, and whereas in her spare time Sophie studies ballet and fencing. There's still a couple more whereas. And whereas the mayor and the council of the city of Linden are proud to have Sophie Katulski representing the city of Linden as the 2014 Junior Miss Polonia at the annual Pulaski Day Parade. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden, do hereby congratulate Sophie Katulski for being selected the 2014 Junior Miss Polonia to represent the city of Linden at the Pulaski Parade. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be entered into the minutes of the council of the city of Linden, and that a copy thereof be presented to Sophie Katulski in recognition of this prestigious honor. So to fulfill this, congratulations. You want to say something? Thank you, people. Good, just say thank you. Sophie wants to say something.
Thank you.
Very good.
And thank you. And we have another presentation this evening, the United Way of Union County. Jim Horn, are you in the audience? Would you come up, please?
Jim just came in, so that's good timing. I don't know if everybody knows, but the United Way is located in the city of Elizabeth, and they work extremely closely with the city of Linden, especially with our new project that we got going on East St. George's Avenue. It's the social justice complex, where we're going to revitalize that neighborhood on East St. George Avenue, the two square block area that the city of Linden owns, and eventually build a justice complex with a court and also a police headquarters and a private public partnership. And Jim has been very active with the United Way in helping us establish that building. And in recognition of the United Way, I'd like to read this resolution by myself and the governing body. Whereas the state of New Jersey desires that all of its citizens enjoy a high quality of life, and whereas the provision of health and social services necessary to achieve a desired quality of life requires a cooperative effort between public and private providers of these services, and whereas United Way of Greater Union County invests and activates the resources to make the greatest possible impact in communities across Union County, And whereas United Way of Greater Union County mobilizes thousands of volunteers dedicated to improving lives in Union County communities. And whereas Union County citizens generously contribute over $3.5 million to the United Way in their 2013-2014 campaign, investing in programs and services to help address their communities' most critical issues. And whereas these programs help children and youth succeed, strengthen and support families, promote self-sufficiency, build safe neighborhoods, and support vulnerable and aging populations. And where it is important that the United Way of Greater Union County continues to be successful in strengthening partnerships, building consensus, and leveraging resources, thereby mobilizing the caring power of the communities. And whereas the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden wishes to support the United Way of Greater Union County to improve lives and build stronger, healthier communities by encouraging individuals and companies to support their fundraising drive. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden that they hereby declare the week of September 15, 2014, United Way Week in the City of Linden, and urge Linden and all Union County citizens to contribute generously through the United Way. Jim, on behalf of the City Council and myself, we'd like to present you with this resolution and consider it an honor to partner with you and work together for the best interest of our community and Union County.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. First, I just want to say thank you, Mayor and Council, for acknowledging the United Way through this resolution. This is our annual fundraising drive, and we are looking for as much support as we can, but we're probably more excited about the project and working the prospects going forward. I can tell you between the Mayor, the Superintendent, and our community-based partners are really thinking about how to help residents in Linden. One of our strong corporate partners and my boss, my board member, Mike Rakos, is a plant manager at New Star. And Mike, you say a few words.
Yes, I second what Jim said. You know, we work hard the United Way, and I'm honored to serve on the board of the United Way. We work hard because we believe strengthening communities results in stronger families, and that's what we're all about. And we depend on the generosity of people like you, as well as our corporate partners in New Star. And I personally want to thank my guys for being very generous.
How much did they raise last year, Mike?
It was a lot. I'm not gonna gloat about it, but very generous. And Mr. Mayor, you know that as well. So we're honored to work with the City of Linden, and I thank you and the City Council for this wonderful honor. So thank you again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move into ordinance on hearing. This is the date and time established for public hearing on ordinance on hearing. Ordinance 5856, Mr. Clerk.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-33, Handicap Parking, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street. Add 305 West Elm Street, 1106 Hollywood Road.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 58-56, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5857, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Section 7-17, trucks over designated weight excluded from certain streets shall be amended as follows. Delete Baltimore Avenue, add East Baltimore Avenue, West Baltimore Avenue.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I ask that the hearing is closed And we adopt ordinance 5857, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5858.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Schedule of Titles, Salary Ranges, and Regulations for Maintaining the Classification and Salary Standardization Plan of All Employees of the City of Linden," passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Schedule 4II-5, Police Chief and Fire Chief.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I make a motion for the adoption of ordinance 58-58 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5859, sir.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning to implement the city's master plan use element amendment.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
Yes, we
So you-
have. From the Planning Board Chairman, Joseph J. LaPlaca. Ladies and gentlemen, the Planning Board met on September 9th, 2014, and has reviewed and approved that ordinance 58-59 is consistent with the master plan.
Thank you. Anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Sir, would you come up, state your name?
Excuse me, you got to push the red button. We can't hear you.
In the, yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. John Machowski from Drinker Biddle. Our office was in communication with Mr. Hudak's office earlier today, and it was our understanding that this would be carried to the next hearing.
If you would let the hearing continue, there will be a motion.
What's that?
There will be a motion.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to move the hearing on ordinance number 58-59 to be continued for the October 21st meeting for some further consideration. And I'd like to seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, would you read, please read Judge Cassidy's court decision to the record that we recently received?
This matter having been brought to the court upon motion by Kaloji and Simmons, attorney for the plaintiff, City of Linden, a municipal corporation of the State of New Jersey, City Council of the City of Linden, for an order granting summary judgment and dismissing defendant's complaint, and also having been brought to the court upon cross motion for summary judgment filed by defendant James Moore, and the court having considered the matter, it is on this 14th day of March 2014, ordered that the defendant's motion for summary judgment be and is hereby granted, affirming that the position of City Council President and the office's election every 4 years directly by the people is legal, valid, and enforceable, and shall remain in effect until properly amended under the law, and it is further ordered that a copy of this order be served upon all council within 7 days of receipt.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll move into the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council members or citizens so request. In the event, the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in normal sequence on the agenda of items 1 through 6. Does anyone wish to remove an item? May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of consent agenda items 1 through 6 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kozinski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Moving to the committee reports. Council Ward, Councilman from the First Ward, Christopher Colibus, do you have a report for us this evening?
Sure I do, Council President. Thank you. From the Office of City Clerk, dear Councilman Colibus, the following licenses, permits, and transcripts issued in the City Clerk's office during the month of August 2014 and fees received have been turned over to the municipal treasurer of the City of Linden. The total transactions was 272, with a total of city revenue of $3,613.61, state revenue $875, with a grand total of $4,488.61. From the License Inspector's Office, the City Clerk's Licensing Division is submitting this monthly report for the month of August 2014. This office issued 60 dog licenses and 86 miscellaneous licenses and collected $2,250. From the Engineering Committee, we have 20 students still working for the Saturday Clean Communities program. The program will continue for several more months. The construction season is in high gear. 7 streets have been paved this year and 9 are scheduled to be paved this month. An additional 6 will be applied. Recent TV inspections in sanitary sewers have shown the following problem areas: massive quantities of grass on East St. George Avenue, West Blanky Street, West Stimson Ave, and Dill Avenue. Automobile parts downstream of East St. George Avenue along Westbrook. That's what I said. I said automobile parts in the sewer. That's where we are, see, through our TV process through engineering. And impending sewer collapses on Northwood Avenue, West Curtis, West Elizabeth Avenue, and Dill Avenue. Once the inspection is completed by the engineering department, we prepare plans to address the deteriorating sewers. This grease is caused by residents. And there are 5 red light cameras in the city that have been certified by the city engineer and working properly. I want to make an announcement. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club of Linden, and I want to make an announcement for my fellow Kiwanians. The Kiwanis Club of Linden is sponsoring a Taste of Linden fundraiser. This will take place on Monday, August 20th, 2014, 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 p.m. at the John T. Gregorio Center at 330 Helen Street, Linden, New Jersey. For more information, you can contact Chuck Florio at 908-377-3049 or June Lazaro at 908-930-8310. I want to thank Mayor Grabunka for making sure the parking situations during football games on Sunday around the athletic field is being strictly enforced diligently. I appreciate that, and any other resident of the First Ward or city or resident needs to contact me, please call me at 908-925-5568. This completes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Byer?
Yes, Mr. President, I got a report from the Construction Code. For the month of August, the Construction Code Department has issued 148 permits and 18 certificates. They collected $89,985. And also I have a request for a street light. In the 8th Ward, is in need of a street light on pole number 6423684. It's on Dennis Place. I talked to the councilwoman in the 8th Ward, and she definitely needs a street light on that pole. It's very dark, and it's dangerous. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the installation of street light on pole number 6423684, located in the front of 840 Dennis Place, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And that's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Councilman Brown, you have a report?
Thank you, Council President. Approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,301,738.33. The bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, and Finance Chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
End of report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President, I have the following information. It's been brought to our attention by the engineering department that sidewalks will not be completed as scheduled for the fall. We're going to defer our sidewalk repairs into the spring of next year. Anyone who has a sidewalk that they would consider a trip hazard should notify the city or your councilman immediately. We will be trying to utilize the Department of Public Works to address those in a timely fashion, because we do realize that there are some insurance issues that may arise as a result of sidewalks that are trip hazards. Also, I'd like to announce that the Linden Boxing Association will be holding its annual Diamond Glove Finals on October 10th at the Linden High School. Regular admission to the fights will be $10 at the door, and the doors will be open at 6:30 at Linden High School. There's also a $75 diamond ticket available that will include dinner at Amici's Restaurant and ringside seats. Dinner begins at 5 o'clock p.m. The public should know that the money raised from this event is used to help with our recreation programs, and we've been doing this for a number of years, and I don't even know the actual number of dollars that we've raised, but we've done considerably well with this particular program, and we've done a lot of good for the youth of our city. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Rashana Cosby Hurley?
Thank you, Council President. So I want to give some Fifth Ward information. First, I want to thank everyone who came out to the 5th, 8th Ward Community Picnic, and thank our sponsors, namely the Mongill Corporation. We had the Family Center there, and the fire department was there. We had lots of neighbors who volunteered and made donations. So I want to thank them for coming out, and just to make sure I announce that the featured game was kickball, and the 5th Ward did win this year. So we're looking forward to next year's game. The tree trims and stump removals, I want to thank the Department of Public Works, because they finally got a second crew and they're doing what needs to be done, and we got a lot of stump removals that were still left over from Sandy, and we got that done. Tree trims and some hazards. So we talked about it 2 months ago, and if you have a tree in need of a trim, still continue to call. However, just know that they're doing the trees that are the most dangerous initially, and then they'll go from block to block as it's needed for regular pruning. September 27th is September to Remember, and we'll get more information from that probably from, so our chairwoman, Gretchen Hickey, is here, but I thought you were going to come up, so I wanted to just give the announcement. So it's September 27th on Wood Avenue. It's a fun time for everyone. Please come out. September 30th is the 5th Ward regularly scheduled community meeting, and we're going to feature Spanish Heritage, which is celebrated September 15th until October 15th. The Charles Street Park, as my neighbors remind me so often, is still incomplete, but I know that the blacktop has begun, and hopefully before it snows, some of the children in the neighborhood will get a chance to play in the park. I want to welcome some new business neighbors to the 5th Ward community. We have in the 1400 block of East St. George's Avenue, Hands That Work. It's a beauty salon, and they just moved in next to the car wash, closest to Cranford Avenue. So welcome those neighbors, and also welcome Boost Mobile. They are at the 1800 block of East St. George's Avenue, where the 7-Eleven was newly erected there. From Transportation and Parking, the report is from the New York collection, the Trenton Side collection, credit card transactions, parking meter collections, railroad permits submitted by Tyrone Gibbons, the transportation supervisor, for a grand total of $54,242.67 for this month of September. This was done on September the 16th. Before I give a little bit more information about my committee, which I'm the chairwoman, which is Public Property and Recreation, I want to assure the residents that I am diligently still working. As I mentioned before, we schedule our meetings on a bi-weekly basis. The reason for that is because we have a lot of ground to cover. We have a huge department, and like so many other things, many things that I've brought up in the past, for example, the time and attendance, it's taken 3 years for that to come to fruition. So I just want to assure you I'm not going to give up. Members of the committee, Councilman Byer, Councilman Armstead, we do meet every 2 weeks. Some choose to come and some do not. We do have issues, and we have a list of programs that we were given tonight that are being run through the Recreation Department, not necessarily by the Recreation Department. And as a chairperson, my concern is that we have other areas in our department that are, for lack of a better word, poorly managed. We have employees complaining that they have no support. Employees are sitting alone all day, and it's frustrating for them. Morale is low. We have an opportunity here to make our city more efficient. In our department, we've noticed that overtime is being considered a luxury, it's an entitlement. Overtime is considered a necessity in time of need. We had a policy go out in February from our committee, no overtime. It was ignored. The finance chairman put out another policy, no overtime. It was yet again ignored. So I just want to let the public know you have the right to voice your concerns. I know that some people come here and they do call us and they do email us, but just know that our form of government is committee. We have a chair and we have members. All of the committees are public on the website. If you have a concern and you feel that you need to contact that committee, please do, because there's strength in numbers. I can't tell you how many phone calls I get and the residents are concerned about this or concerned about that. I'm one person, and I can only do what I can do with support. So I just wanted to put that out there and just assure the residents that I'm still diligently working, and I will continue to have bi-weekly meetings. And if the committee, well, Derek, you said you may or may not come, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we want to do it at the committee level. So I'm just hopeful that eventually, like the time and attendance took 3 years, we can get this all wrapped up and we can have a more efficient government here in the city of Linden. And let me just finish with, you know what? I'm not even going to take it to the other matter, but I do want to give my condolences to my neighbors, Nancy and the De Silva family, on the loss of their loved one. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman
Council
Sadowski.
President, can I comment on what Roshana Cosby-Hurling just said concerning the public property? I think it's disgraceful that she makes those statements, and I am extremely proud of the public property, and I think that Mr. McDonald, who has 34 years of service in this city, is doing an outstanding job. And for her to get on in front of this podium and say that we are not providing the proper services for the residents of the city of Linden is totally wrong, totally out of line. She has no business as a council person micromanaging the public property in the city of Linden. We have a tremendous amount of recreation services from our recreation department and public property, and I resent the fact that she gets up here thinking that she is going to decide on what's good for the public property and recreation services solely because she thinks she knows better than a man has managed that department for 34 years. I think it's disgraceful for her to get up. I think it's disgraceful that she says that. She's trying to grandstand, and I will not accept that kind of conduct, condemning and embarrassing a department head in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. And you'll have opportunity at your report to make any further comments. Councilman Sadowski?
I have to follow that now. Okay. I have a few comments here. This first one I was supposed to talk about last month. I had a couple of neighbors calling me up and saying, please remind people at night if they have dogs and they let them out and they're barking, please consider your neighbors. And I forgot to mention that last time, and I got my 4 phone calls, so I'm making it tonight. School started, and for the people in the 6th Ward, if you know, school opened up, and they have the construction there. I went there the first 4 days. I went there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went there at 3. It's a little hectic, but each day it's getting better and better. The mayor was there a couple of days with me. We talked to parents. We talked to the principal, Tia Perkins, and everyone seems to be trying to do their best. Some of the parents are falling in line. It'll take time. I want to thank the Linden Police for doing a great job there with the traffic on Linden Avenue. It's very tough. It's very, how can I put it? You have to watch safety. But please, if you have a student there and the policeman tells you to do something, cross at a certain spot, please do that. Don't cross in the middle, because that's where we're going to have the accidents. But it's a work in progress, so I want to thank the police, the mayor, and the principal. The oil train, Councilman Minichenko will talk about that. But I'll just say one thing. They promised the people on Smith Street that they would fix the property behind them on the road where the tracks are. They promised they would cut the vegetation and so on. So far, they did it for one person, and they told that person that each one has to call up. If you do that, I will give you the number too, and I'm sure Mr. Minichenko. The gentleman to call is Michael Fesson, 717-319-6870. So if you have any questions about them cutting down the bushes in back or the weeds or whatever it is, please give him a call. But Mr. Minichenko will discuss that a little bit more. I was walking the ward, we had people call up. I already handed my list in for the sidewalks. If you still have a sidewalk that you think is unsafe, caused by a city tree, please give me a call or call up clerk's office and they will give me the information. Tree trimming left the 6th Ward, but they will be coming back, and I want to thank them. They did a great job, and I'm sure when they come back, we will finish up those who need it. Make sure I give you the right streets now. Resurfacing will begin in the 6th Ward on Woodlawn Avenue. It was supposed to start today because of the rain. They're starting tomorrow. It's from 11th Street to 13th Street, and from Cedar Avenue to Union Avenue. So they were supposed to start today. I saw the gentleman today. They will start tomorrow. So please watch with your cars and so on. Also, I want to thank the county freeholders at Wheeler Park. They put up a playground, beautiful playground and so on, but over the summer, they didn't put any benches in. I had people sitting on the ground watching the children. A few calls to the freeholders, and I want to thank them. There's 3 or 4 benches up there, and the people come down and wanted to thank them. So I went there, and they said, finally, the benches are there. So thank you, freeholders, for doing that. Also, when I called them up at Wheeler Park, for safety reasons, with the winter coming, they are installing temporary lights in the parking lot there. If you know where the parking lot is, it's behind the pool. When it gets at dusk, it gets very dark. But the lights will go on at dusk and will be shut off at between 9:15 and 9:30, not less than 9:30. The only reason is, they said, is for the safety factors, because the parking lot is very, very dark. Okay. Now, election is coming. Now is the time to register to vote or obtain absentee ballots. If you put it off too long, you're not going to get it. To be truthful, I don't care who you vote for, but vote, please. And if you have to obtain one, see the councilman. For me, give me a call or call up the city clerk. I will hand deliver you the sheets or the absentee ballots or whatever you want. That concludes it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Minichenko.
Thank you, Council President. From the Landfill and Hawk Rise Committee, we're going to be entering negotiations with Easy Energy to get a final and best proposal on a solar panel field at our landfill. Hopefully, all goes well on this project and get off the ground so we can finally get some revenue out of the landfill. Also, we have a resolution tonight on the agenda, Resolution 2014-349. That's for the repair of the flare at the landfill, which hasn't been burning for quite a few weeks now, and it's a dangerous situation, so I ask for support for the council on this resolution. From the Hawk Rise Sanctuary, I got some correspondence from Kelly Wenzel from the New Jersey Audubon Society, and she states, "We had such a great time, and all of you did such a wonderful job. 90% of the plants are living in June that we wanted to add another planting day before it gets too cold. Please join the New Jersey Audubon Society for a second planting day at Hawk Rise Sanctuary in Linden." And this is going to be on August 4th, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to noon, and it states, "Help New Jersey Audubon catalog and remove invasive plants and revive the forest with new native plants. Before you plant, learn about why we are keeping the deer out, research in the forest, and how you can be more involved in forest stewardship. Tools, gloves, and water will be provided. Dress for the weather and wear boots or heavy shoes. Children must be accompanied by an adult." And she goes on to say, "Please let me know if you have any questions. I am happy to work with the teachers and students to provide extra credit and/or service hours for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts." And it goes on, "Please register by Thursday, October 2nd, 2014, and you can register at kelly.wenzel@newjerseyaudubon.org, or you can call her at 908-766-5787. Last month, Councilman Sadowski had asked me to give a little correspondence on the crude oil change, and I apologize for overseeing this matter. But we did have a meeting October 4th, and some of the information is, well, people ask, when is the train coming? Additional train movements have been started since October 5th. What is the train carrying? The train will carry domestic crude oil from the Midwest and potentially from other regions that will be refined into gasoline, jet fuels, and plastics. And where is the train going? The train is delivering crude oil from Phillips to Phillips 66 Bay Refinery. The train will utilize the existing active rail tracks known as the Linden Industrial Track, which was previously used to service an auto facility, our old GM plant. What can be expected? Phillips 66 will utilize new rail cars that meet or exceed current regulatory standards. Maximum capacity of the Bayway Rail Rack facility is anticipated to be 1 train per day. However, we will be starting operations at a much lower rate, and we expect it will take some time before we reach this capacity. Our goal is to minimize any potential traffic disruptions and discussions on ongoing with officials from the town of Linden and Norfolk Southern to consider alternative train movements that can minimize how long trains will occupy the lower road crossings. The company using moving the oil is Norfolk Southern, which is one of the nation's premier transportation company. It's Norfolk Southern's railway company subsidiary operates approximately 20,000 route miles and 22 straits in the District of Columbia. And there's a contact number. If anybody has a problem with the train, you can reach a Michael Feason at 717-319-6870. And for more information about the Phillips 66 Bayway Refinery Rail Rack operations located on Low Road, you can contact the Bayway Community Awareness Hotline at 908-523-6005. As Councilman Armstead stated, we did suspend our sidewalk construction till the springtime, but we still are going to repair any sidewalks that are a danger for the public. And I still am taking sidewalk requests and tree trimmings, and you can reach me. My contact information is mminarchenko@lindennewjersey.org, or you can reach me at 862-6265. That's the end of my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakaitis?
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Board of Health, flu season shots are available for residents 60 years or older with a chronic illness. You need to pre-register for the program. The telephone number for the Health Department is 908-474-8409. From the Fire Committee, The Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $5,818 for the month of August 2014. Fire Prevention Night will be held on Tuesday, September 30th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Raymond Bauer Promenade located on Wood Avenue. We invite all our residents to come out and meet our firefighters and learn more about fire prevention. From the 8th Ward, I wanted to mention on tonight's agenda, there's a resolution for the resurfacing of the Park Avenue Bridge. We received grant money to help with this project. The bridge should be paved sometime in October, so please be aware of any detour signs so you can plan on your commute. Also, there's another resolution for a grant application to be submitted for this year, which will include East Linden Avenue. So I'm hopeful that we will be awarded this, so I will keep you posted if we receive that. We're in desperate need to get that road repaved. I want to thank everyone who came out to the September 11th candlelight vigil at the Wanda Green Park, as well as all the officials, the police and fire departments, the police and fire drum and bagpipers, as well as our public property department. I want to say a special thank you to Ms. Daphne Bazil, a Linden High School junior, who enhanced our ceremony with her lovely singing voice. And once again, Mr. Check, thank you for letting us use your electric to make it all possible. Good news, the tree crew arrived in the 8th Ward yesterday, so we were very grateful. It was like having Santa Claus arrive to some of my residents, so we're very thankful and love to keep you there. I want to thank everyone for their patience in waiting for this. Right now, they're working on trees that I submitted on my list. They're working on the most hazardous and dying ones. They will be coming back, to some of my colleagues mentioned, to do the pruning and minor trim work. So just thank you again for your patience. And Bachelor and McGilvery Park are closed for renovations. Right now, we're waiting for, they have to dig up to put the macadam in and lay all the rubber matting. So we thank you for your patience with that, but I'm looking forward to having 2 new beautiful parks in the 8th Ward. And I just want to mention I have set up an 8th Ward community meeting for October 15th at 7 p.m. at Jersey Lanes. I invite all 8th Ward residents to attend, and if anyone needs to contact me, my number is 908-925-2309. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Yes, Council President, good evening, everyone. I have a Personnel Committee report. Number 1, in the Police Department, the appointment of Sandra Vasquez Grunder as a team leader in dispatch as the contractual stipend of $2,000 and the collective negotiations agreement between the city and the CWA effective October 1st, 2014. Number 2, in the Police Department, the approval to carry over 8 vacation days from 2014 for Joyce Sheehy to be utilized no later than March 31st, 2015. Number 3, the approval of FMLA/NJFLA leaves for the following personnel. Employee 1006 1006 intermittent FMLA leave effective 8/8/14 through 9/15/14. Employee 984 FMLA leave from 8/1/14 through 12/31/14. Employee 90569 FMLA leave from 6/3/14 to 6/2/15. Employee 107414 intermittent FMLA/NJFLA leave from 8/14/14 through 8/13/15. Employee 100362 intermittent FMLA/NJFLA leave from 8/14/14 through 8/13/15. And employee 906 intermittent FMLA leave from 9/8/14 through 9/7/15. Number 4, in the Police Department, the amendment of item number 1 of the Personnel Report from August 18, 2014, Personnel Report amending the salary for the officers appointed to the position of sergeant. The correct salary is $104,059 pursuant to a collective negotiations agreement with the LSOA and the city. Number 5, in the Finance Department, the granting of an on-call stipend to Nancy Gomes in the amount of $3,950 prorated to perform computer work outside of the regular workday effective October 1st, 2014. Number 6, in the Finance Department, the appointment of Diana Menzel as Principal Payroll Clerk at the salary of $48,257, consistent with the city's salary ordinance effective October 1st, 2014, pending successful completion of all necessary job employment physicals and background investigation. Number 7, in the police department, the approval for the police department to begin the background investigation for up to 10 police candidates to be considered for the January Academy. Number 8, in the Office of the Tax Assessor, approval to post for the position of Clerk 1 based upon an upcoming retirement. And number 9, in the Department of Public Property and Community Services, approval of the seasonal list for the department, which is on file with the Treasurer's Office. I'll move for the approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Fire?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Thank you. I do have a few items on the Ninth Ward. First, I just want to thank Ninth Ward residents that actually came out to our community event, which was on September 7th. I also want to thank the police department. Officer Zach came out and kind of hanged out with us the most part of the day and showed off one of the new cruisers, and that was kind of the goal, just really come out and meet your neighbors. And I asked for the police department to show up with some of the nice new equipment that we have to kind of show the public where we're actually spending their money when it comes to public safety and whatnot. And it was actually a nice event, so we had a good time, and it was a Sunday, and actually turned out to be beautiful weather. I also want to thank the folks that came out to our September 8th meeting at the Linden Presbyterian Church. We discussed speeding issues for DeWitt and Orchard. Lieutenant Pavolsky attended the meeting, and we went over solutions that we're considering for DeWitt and Orchard Terrace. We're hoping to have something established, hopefully in the next couple of months, and in place. So we definitely need to improve the quality of life for the folks on DeWitt and Orchard, especially having the schools and parks is definitely a hazard. School started, so people can already see the madness that goes on there in the morning and in the afternoon as well. So I'm hoping and I'm looking forward to implementing the solutions soon. As my colleagues mentioned, trees, the tree crew, they're doing a bi-weekly rotation. So they were in the Ninth Ward a couple of weeks ago. They took down some dead trees. Now they're jumping back to the 8th and 6th and whatnot. So they'll come back to us again, and they'll take down some more dead trees. Tree trimming is really at the back of the list. Once they address the hazard trees, they will come back and do some tree trimming. So again, be patient. These guys have a whole city to take care of, and we have a lot of trees. Also with the sidewalks, it's been delayed. Hopefully we get 2 years of sidewalk done in April or in the spring of next year. But if it's like a serious trip hazard, hopefully DPW can get to it and address that right away. Besides that, if you need to get in contact with me, 908-986-6100, or you could also email amedina, linden-nj.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kaczynski?
Thank you, Council President. As the library liaison, I'm just going to mention a few events that the Friends of the Linden Library are having. They're having a fundraiser at Primavera on Wednesday, October 8th from 5 to 9. Their establishment will be donating 10% for eat-in only if you go there and eat. You have to have a flyer, though, so you can either print out the flyer or you can go to the library and pick up a flyer. They will be also participating in the Shop Smart Do Good at Lord & Taylor on Wednesday, October 29th from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Passes are $5. You can purchase at the various library events. Or you can also email library.friend@yahoo.com. And if you are a Pathmark supporter, I guess Pathmark got away from their cards or their swipe cards, you still have to give your phone number, or you can still use the card in order to make a donation. So if you were a friend of the library and every time you bought food you gave $1, I think it was a percent or whatever it was, the registered amount, it would go by your card. Since they don't use cards anymore, give your phone number, or you can still use the card to make sure that transaction still happens, so please do. As we heard from about some paving issues, there were some delays on the paving, but they should begin soon on Birchwood and Pembroke in the 10th Ward. And also on the resolution list tonight, you will also see Elmwood. We'll be getting the approval, Elmwood between Verona and Myrtle. So with all that, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, 908-463-9234 or akaczynski@linden-nj.org. That concludes my report, Mr. Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor, you have a report?
Yes, Council President, thank you. I just want to elaborate a little more on September to Remember. That's our street festival starting at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning and ending at 10 p.m. We're going to have a really great street festival. There's going to be kids' activities, plenty of food, rides, live music in a promenade. We're going to have motorcycles, a classic custom car show. We're going to have eating contests, spaghetti, and other various foods. They're always fun to watch. It's just going to be a great time had by all. And remember, this is all done by volunteers from the Cultural Committee. And we have the president here of the Cultural Committee. I'm sure she'll elaborate a little more on that. In regards to the economic front, a lot of good things are starting to happen in the city of Linden. If you look at the developments going on, and that's what's important. We encourage developments in the city of Linden, because the more developments we get, the more revenue comes into our coffers, and that reduces the tax burden on the residential homeowner. And if you see Southwood Avenue, the 176-unit apartment building going up, they're going up very quickly by the Linwood Tavern. And again, once he finishes that building, he's going to go across the street and start a second building. Again, the key being density housing around our train station. For young professionals who go to Newark and New York, they're going to want to come home, they're going to want quality restaurants, they're going to want quality stores. On the other side of Wood Avenue, of the bridge, behind the Linden Towers, we had 48 condominium units built, beautiful condominium units. 47 of them have been sold. That's why the builder is now building another 48 opposite the 47 that have been already sold. Again, concept being density housing, more young professionals that are going to come and want to spend money and revitalize our downtown area. If you also see the Linden Commons, which is on Avenue C by Route 1, opposite the Merck, the Kmart and Sears building is vacant for about 3 or 4 years. That building's been subdivided. November 3rd is going to be the ribbon cutting for that building, and they're going to have a TJ Maxx, they're going to have a K Jewelers, they're going to have a Sprint, they're going to have a Buffalo Wild Wings, they're going to have a Blink, which is a fitness center, they're going to have a Bocce Grill, and they're going to have 2 other vacant stores they're going to rent. So again, there's more opportunity for jobs in the city of Linden, and more development and revenue coming in to offset our residential taxes. I call my 3 800-pound gorillas developments getting started. Goodman Bircher, again, 143 acres, 5 major warehouses. Once it's completed, $5 to $7 million in revenue. That's being built on the old GAF property on the other side of the Turnpike. They're getting all their permits. They intend to have a shovel in the ground by early 2015. I just got good news last week with DuPont. DuPont is 98 acres next to the 143 acres that Goodman Bircher is going to be developing. They have that property all cleaned up. There's no further action from the DEP. What they have that's so spectacular about their property is 3,000 linear feet of bulkhead on the Arthur Kill. They're marketing it, and they've told me, and they wouldn't tell me if they had any inside information, but they're telling me they intend to have that property sold by the end of the year. Again, hopefully that'll come to fruition. A developer will take advantage of the Arthur Kill with the bulkhead, and again, more revenue coming into the city of Linden. Duke, I don't know if you've seen on Linden Avenue, they built a 500,000 square foot warehouse in the rear of their property, which fronts 1 and 9, the old GM property. The Pleasant Street, they're having a 144,000 square foot warehouse, again, revenue generating once it's completed. They are building on speculation based on the fact that the Panama Canal is being widened and the Bayonne Bridge raised. They're going to be bringing in 2.5 to 3 times the amount of containers coming into Port Newark Elizabeth. The city of Linden is perfectly situated, 3 miles from Port Newark Elizabeth, Newark Airport. We have 1 and 9 traversing the city, the Parkway traversing the city, and the Turnpike traversing the city. So we got a lot of good things happening. The one bad issue is, again, ShopRite has sued the city of Linden for the 3rd time. 2 other lawsuits, we've gone and won in court in the Superior Court, in the Appellate Division, and the New Jersey Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions for 2 separate lawsuits. ShopRite has now sued us again on the intersectional improvements, which Duke is required to have 7 intersectional improvements around the retail commercial property, which is going to be fronting 1 and 9. They're suing us on that we didn't do it properly in the planning board. Again, ShopRite is concerned because a Super Walmart is going to be the anchor store, and we have about 7 other stores that have signed letters of intent with Duke, but they are not going to sign a contract until they see groundbreaking for Super Walmart. ShopRite, being an Aviation Plaza, decides that they don't want competition, even though McDonald's has competition with Burger King right next to each other. BJ's and Sam's are right next to each other. Competition is what makes America great, but ShopRite intends to just throw frivolous lawsuit after frivolous lawsuit against the city of Linden. This whole retail complex could have been built already. We've been in litigation for at least 3 or 4 years. And again, it's the greed of ShopRite. That's why I tell everybody in Linden and surrounding communities, don't shop in ShopRite. If that entire 108 acres of GM property was built tomorrow, we would get $5 to $7 million in revenues. But the strategy of ShopRite is to delay, 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 and hopefully Super Walmart will fold their tent. So you see, we got a lot of good things happening. We got a couple of hurdles, again, to overcome. We've overcome them in the past, and we'll overcome them in the future. End of report, Council President.
Thank you. We'll move into resolutions 2014-329 through 2014-364. Public comments will be permitted on specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions provided by the City Clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions. Does anyone wish to remove any resolutions 329 to 364? Am I right? In the center, Ms. Malik? 337? 344? 346? 348? 349? 362? 363. Thank you. In the center? On my left? Please. 329? I'm sorry? 337. May I have a motion on the remainder?
Council President, I ask for approval of resolutions 2014-329 through 2014-364, with the exceptions of 329, 337, 344, 346, 348, 349, 362, and 363, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 339, Ms. Williams? 329.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to know if you can give a little bit more details about what this is pertaining to.
Ms. Zach?
Yes, this is a Chapter 159 resolution that is a grant that the city received once the budget was passed. So what this is, it allows us to put this revenue into the budget. This specific grant is for additional funds for training of firefighters. And Deputy Chief Dooley is the individual that applies for all the grants for the fire department. If you need more specific information, I'm sure he could elaborate on it.
That's good enough. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 214-329 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 337, Ms. Malik?
Whenever I see something like special bankruptcy counsel for the city, that's kind of like a red flag for me. So can someone explain what does this really involve?
Mr. Hudak?
Yeah, Ms. Malik, what we have is we retain a special bankruptcy counsel so that when the tax collector is trying to collect taxes or against other properties, often people will declare bankruptcy and we have to go through the bankruptcy court to collect back taxes. So that is why we keep the special bankruptcy counsel. It's a specialty working in the bankruptcy courts, and they've realized money back taxes that otherwise we may not have gathered from properties.
So this money would be paid out on an ad-need basis, correct?
We hire them at the beginning of the year, and we only, as matters come in, do we utilize bankruptcy counsel.
Okay, thank you.
I believe, Ms. Williams, you have a... Thank you. I have a motion on 337, please.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 214-337 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 344, Ms. Malik?
What monies are involved in this resolution here between the City of Linden and Friends of Linden?
There's no monies involved. This is a resolution which was requested by the ad hoc committee in dealing with the adoption of animals. We currently lease to Follis the facilities they use. They will now be handling all the adoptions of dogs that qualify, dogs or cats that qualify for adoption will be handled through Follis, and this is an agreement between the city and them to memorialize that they will be handling that.
Who did you say is handling the Friends of Linden?
Friends of Linden Animal Shelter.
It's going to handle
Follis.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I have a motion on 2014-344.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 214-344 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 346, Ms. Malik?
What do these compliance issues relate to? What's included in these?
Mr. Verchik?
We have a contractor that's cleaning up the wetlands around the landfill from the dredge that caved in 10 years ago. And there's some Verizon underground lines, and we've had, or our engineers must have had 6-7 meetings with Verizon to try to get them to mark out the line so that we could dig around them without damaging them and to remove all the sludge from the wetlands.
Okay.
Motion, please, on 346.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 2014-346 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 348, Ms. Malik?
My first question is, what was wrong with the old time clocks, or did we ever have people punching in and out?
Ms. Sack?
There was time clocks in certain locations. What this is going to be a standardization for all departments for biometrics, accountability, and hand scanning. So this is a completely new system that's going to go throughout the city. This is for the non-public safety departments, And next year, we will be doing the public safety departments as well. This is for 9 hardware, actual biometric hand scan systems.
So you say public safety, so it's not for,
Police and fire.
I'll ask
only
counsel
for-
to
this
refrain
is-
from comments till the speaker is done.
This resolution specifically is for all non-public safety employees, such as City Hall, Public Works, public property. Next year, we will be putting in hand scans for police and fire, but this is the first step to what the Personnel Committee has discussed.
so does this mean that if someone's supposed to be clocking in at 8 o'clock, that it takes into account like their lunch breaks?
This will...
So every time they go in and out, they're going to be monitored then?
Yes, and the Personnel Committee's been working on putting various policies together to address that.
Very good.
Councilwoman Cosby Hurley.
As I mentioned earlier, this was something that was a priority when I first got seated in 2011, and we went through a lot of different, applications, what systems, everything was extremely expensive. So I want to just, applaud the treasurer who's in charge of personnel as well as purchasing and finance, that she dug a little deeper. We found this system, it's in line with what our police and fire currently use. It's less of a training issue because it's already in-house and it's going to work with our payroll system. And it was less expensive than some of the other programs that we looked at last year or the year before that. So again, if we are diligent and we just don't, let go of what we know is right, things will finally come into play. So I'm excited for this. I know there's a lot of questions in our committee, chaired by Armando Medina, councilman from the 9th Ward. We'll address all of the concerns that the employees may have, as far as clocking in with the biometric system. But I think that this is a step finally in the right direction.
Further comments? Seeing none, motion, please.
Council President, I ask for approval of 2014-348 and seek a second.
Second. Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurley?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 349, Ms. Malik.
Maybe Councilman Menichenko, am I saying your name correctly?
It's still there.
When I saw $107,000, wow. We have someone that is providing maintenance to our landfill, correct?
Right.
And did you say that for the past couple of months, we were having this flaring issue, or there was a safety issue? So I have a question. The people that are doing the maintenance, this $107,000, that's quite a bit. The person that's doing our general maintenance, why are they not picking this up? They don't pay for the hardware for our system as part of their maintenance?
Ms. Malik, I'd like to ask the engineer, Mr. Verchik, to
Okay.
answer that.
Nope.
I believe the person you're talking about is not maintenance, he's an engineer. They don't have the capability
Wait,
to
say so.
make the repairs.
Say this over again?
We don't have
Haven't-
somebody doing maintenance at the landfill.
Don't we have
We
a
have-
contract with someone to, like an engineering company?
We have engineers, but they're not capable of repairing the flare.
Okay, there's a company called Birdsdall, so usually they have engineers, it's not a contractor that is watching, I know they're doing testing of other things, they're just a bunch of engineers, they don't have,
No.
it's not part of their system, or
No.
part of the, wow.
Councilman Minichenko, could you add to that?
Yeah, Ms. Malik, what our engineers do, they do the monitoring of the facility, but this is actually the flare. It's like it's a hardware, yeah. So what CME does is actually do the monitor of the landfill, and this company is actually gonna do the repairs to the flare.
Council President,
The engineers that we pay, the CME associates.
Council President,
Mr. Hudak?
if I may, Ms. Malik, under the local public contract law, the engineers are professional service. They do the design work. We award contracts to them under one basis. All contracts for the actual work, construction, and acquisition of the equipment and installation has to be bid. This contract is a bid contract to them under local public contract law.
Do we have a maintenance contract on this, since we don't have people that are capable of maintaining the landfill? Do we have a maintenance contract with some outside company?
At this point in time, no, this is a contract now to install it. After it's installed and constructed, that will be for the committee to determine what they would like to do next.
Well, haven't we had this flare going for quite some time?
Yes.
How long? Couple of years?
Yeah, at least 3 years or so. It broke.
And in that time, we have not found a need to have who's been doing the maintenance on it? Especially since Councilman Menichenko has said that it's been out of commission for, what'd you say, a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
A few weeks.
3 weeks?
There's no maintenance on a flare. It burns the methane that's being pulled out of the landfill.
But you have pumps that are sucking the gas out? I mean, there has to be maintenance. I'm quite familiar with landfill operation, but there's no maintenance contract on here? We have people that are maintaining the water that's coming out of the landfill, probably recirculating it. I assume someone's doing that also?
We have individuals that monitor groundwater. We have individuals that monitor the movement of the landfill. Again, we have individuals that monitor the gas, but these are all engineers. When some hardware breaks, we got to hire a contractor that's familiar with the hardware to fix the problem. And
Okay.
that's the problem we have here.
All right, very good.
Councilman Brown, can you add anything to that?
No, Ms. Malik made a good point. No, let's just vote. I get what you're saying.
Thank you, Councilman Brown.
One second.
Councilman
Ms. Malik,
Menichenko?
I will take that in consideration, and maybe we can look into having some kind of maintenance agreement with a contractor, so, we don't have to spend $107,000, dollars. What happened, the flare actually exploded, so that's why we have to do this. But I really don't think there's any kind of maintenance that can be done, but we can look into it.
Thank you.
Ms. Malik,
Further comments?
That would be a separate
Mr. Hudak?
contract. Ms. Malik, any maintenance contract is a separate contract under the law that would also be subject to bid.
Further comments?
You just raised a point about like a separate contract and for maintenance. Then if we did have a maintenance department, if something ever happened, then that takes the liability, doesn't it, off the city of Linden and puts it on the contractor?
I believe we're off topic.
All right, well, that's just a
Suggestion.
suggestion.
Thank you. Have a motion on 349, please.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 2014-349. Seek a second.
Second. Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Menichenko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 362, Ms. Malik.
What's entailed in this special counsel to represent the renegotiation for solar energy? I assume that when we have this installed, we're going to be selling back to the grid, and what's the negotiation for pricing, whatever, what we're going to get?
This is, the attorneys are being hired to work in negotiating with the power provider. As Councilman Minichenko mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing a solar project at the facility. There's negotiations with the provider as to what the cost numbers are, what the city receives back out of it. This is a firm that is familiar with it. They have handled it for other municipalities, and they're familiar with the market to make sure that we are getting the best rate that we can get on a return on the landfill.
And depending on what rate we get, is that going to then have impact that we go ahead with the solar energy, or we're definitely going ahead with solar energy, or is it a catch-22?
It's all subject to negotiations right now.
Okay, so the solar energy thing is not a go for it. It's all part of the package and looking at the big picture, correct?
No, right now what the council has authorized is negotiations for the project. This is authorizing the attorney to work on negotiations for us. Once they agree with something that comes back to council, then it's up to council to determine whether it goes forward or not.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Council President, I ask for Resolution 214-362 be passed and seek a second.
Second. Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichenko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 2014-363, Ms. Malik.
I assume that this easement agreement is something new, and why do we need this?
Mr. Hudak?
This is an easement agreement between the city and the Storage Authority. It's relating to Griselli Road and a development, as the mayor indicated before, going on down there. Griselli Road has various private ownerships to it that are being resolved, and part of this easement will allow the road improvements and development to move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Motion, please.
Council President, I ask for approval of Resolution 2014-363 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colvin.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Medichenko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We'll move into ordinance on first readings. There are 5860, 5861, 62, 63, 64. We'll start with 5860.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 27 Special Improvement District shall be amended as follows. Delete Section 27-5 Assessments in its entirety and add new Section 27-5.
Comments? May I have a motion, please? On 5860, please.
I make a motion for the introduction of the ordinance 58-16. Ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
No. 5861.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 55-12, adopted by the City Council of the City of Linden on March 15, 2011, as amended.
Comments from members of the public? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I ask for introduction of ordinance 58-61 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5862, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Add 4 II-6, Supervising Parking Enforcement Officer.
Comments from members in the chamber? May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President. I make a motion for the introduction of 58-62 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Yes.
Sadowski? Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5863, please.
An ordinance authorizing the acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent to and abutting the properties identified on the tax maps as Block 587, lots 19, 20, and 21 for public use.
Comments from members in the public in the chambers? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I ask for introduction of ordinance 58-63, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into,
I have one more,
thank you,
58-64.
64.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $80,000 for the acquisition of an undedicated road adjacent to and abutting properties identified on the tax maps as Block 587, lots 19, 20, and 21 for public use for and by the City of Linden in the County of Union, and authorizing the issuance of $76,000 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Comments from members in the public? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Council President, I ask for a motion introduction of ordinance 58-64 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colubus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into comments from the members in the public in attendance. No personal, political, derogatory statements not to exceed 5 minutes. And did everybody get an opportunity to sign the sheet? And I'll ask Jacqueline Williams to come up for 5 minutes, please.
Good evening, Council President, members of the City Council. I wasn't going to make a comment on this, but after hearing the mayor's report, I have to say something because it gives me great satisfaction to know that I had something or played a part in a lot of this redevelopment that is going on. For those of you who do not know, I sit on the planning board, and I have been there for a little less than a year now. Again, after hearing the mayor rattle off all of the new developments that we have heard cases for and finally approved, gives me great satisfaction to know that I have been a part of this redevelopment boom. All of those long hours that we have put in on the planning board have finally paid off. So thank you for putting that into perspective for us, Mayor. We greatly appreciate your leadership on the planning board as well. The reason why I came here tonight is because I met a young man while on the campaign trail whose mother actually had a stroke while he was in college. And I promised him, he asked me to give him this one wish, and I promised him that I would help him bring awareness to strokes and the effects that it have on Americans every year. His name is Julian, and he has actually launched a nationwide campaign, and you can go to www.gofundme.com/stroke awareness if you would like to make a contribution. This young man, after leaving college, actually became the caretaker and the main caregiver for his mother. And you really don't hear about children taking care of their parents like that at such a young age. But I know I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to rattle off some of these stats that he provided me so that we can be better aware of what a stroke is and how it affects us. Number one, the stroke is the 4th leading cause of death in the United States. This year, 1 in 6 people worldwide have had a stroke. This tragedy can happen to anyone at any time. Strokes kill almost 130,000 Americans each year. That's about 1 out of every 19 deaths. Women account for approximately 43% of strokes that occur each year, but they account for 61% of stroke deaths. In African American females, the incident is 79 strokes per 100,000, with a death rate of 39.2%. That's pretty high. Stroke risk increase with age. For each decade after the age of 55, the risk of a stroke doubles. The risk of a stroke is 2.5 times higher in people with diabetes. I'm going to cut it off there. There's a lot of other statistics that are listed on here. If you wish to know more about it, again, you can go to www.gofundme.com/stroke awareness, or you can give me a call and I will put you in contact with the young man who provided me with this information. My number is 908-486-0337. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you for that information. Gretchen Hickey?
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I wasn't planning on saying anything tonight, Mayor, but a little peer pressure, no problem. I'm really excited about September to Remember this year. It's actually been quite an explosion. Now it's crunch time, the next week and a half or so. We have over 40 vendors coming. We have over 30 food vendors coming. We have the Empanada Man coming, who's been on the Food Network. Today, I said no more food vendors, and I got a call from some famous cheesesteak guy from New Jersey who just signed a 6-year contract with Sandy Hook, taking over the Seagull's Nest. So word has been getting around. Tony Copland from Recreation is ready to kill me because he doesn't know where I'm going to put everybody. And I just keep saying, don't worry, it'll all work out. One thing, and I know there was a little controversy over, things earlier with talking about work and stuff, and the mayor got upset. But I have to say, the next week and a half, I don't know what I'd do without Recreation. And Tony Copland, I call him nighttime, I call him the daytime, to pick up the ends of my pieces. There's so many things involved in that, and just from setting up porta potties to tables to tents to OEM, the fire department, the Board of Health. After last year, I mean, I had a lot of learning to do, but it was just, they were all wonderful. And I do have to thank them for September to Remember and what I'm going to put Tony through in the next week and a half as I pull in more vendors and he says, stop, Gretchen, we have no more room. But, we have, this year, we have also, we're going to have a band on the street. We have the beer and wine tent, thanks to Amici's in Linden and also Metro Liquors. These are all businesses that are nice enough to send us in donations and support us. So if I have to drive everyone crazy every month by mentioning their names, so we support them who support us, it's the least I can do because we want to raise money for this event. We don't have much money to spend. Also, Bayway Refinery, Phillips 66, Denval Realty, Housing Corporation, Linden Airport, Motion Federal Credit Union, and Unity Bank. We also have a magician coming, Stilt Walker, balloons, a balloon maker, dance in schools performing. We have a special performance by Mystic Vision Players. They're doing several different performances from different Broadway shows, which should be quite entertaining from everyone. We have Brandywine Road performing at 4:45, and then at 8 p.m. we have Front Lawn Barbecue. We decided to book them last because we have our very own captain of our fire department, Captain Kevin Brady, who is the lead singer of the band, and he has a few men from Linden who play in his band, so I thought I might pull some more people in. And of course, Chuck Leonard, and tons of things to do for the kids. So it's really exploded this year. I hope everyone makes an attempt to attend this year. Our dunk tank, I am taking people who aren't like that much that week because the police department, well, the officers department will make more money on the worst liked people that week. So that would be great. But please spread the word, get it around. We're bringing Linden up, and the day is going to be amazing. And wherever it goes next year, I'm sure it's going to go even bigger. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Henry Mack?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, City Council, I have 3 seconds, please.
You have 5 minutes.
Yes, you may.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of City Council, the honorable people of the city of Linden asked me, would I respectfully appear before you and the President of City Council and members of City Council. They suggested to me, in their own way, that they are a little bit tired of ShopRite's argument. They asked me to ask you and the President of City Council, if you will, sit down with one another, because with the attorneys, we're paying a ton of money over a conversation that's been going on a little too long, okay? A little too long. The people told me to tell you, Mr. Mayor, this conversation been going on too long. I heard a lady tell me that you said, Mr. Mayor, don't go to ShopRite because it's getting to be out of control. Mr. Mayor, please call your president into your office, President of City Council in your office, and members of City Council. And y'all have a discussion y'all have a conversation about this, because it's getting out of hand and the people's I didn't say it. The people told me to tell you and the presidents of the council to stop. Meet with one another and stop this nonsense. They told me it was nonsense. They asked me to respectfully ask you to stop and meet with your co-workers and stop this nonsense. We're spending too much money on legal fees fighting a giant. I respectfully ask you with all due respect. The people said, I didn't say it. The people said it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I comment, Mr.
Mr.
President?
Mayor?
Henry, you could tell the people that it's not costing the city of Linden any money with these lawsuits. Duke Realty, who's the developer, is footing the bill for the lawsuits. What it is costing the city of Linden is revenue that we could have been receiving over the last 5 years as tax money for the development of the 108-acre property. We have not expended any money on lawyer fees, and Irv Glass, the owner of ShopRite, refuses to sit down with our attorney and Duke's attorney to negotiate the item.
Did they refuse to sit down with you?
They don't sit with me. I can't sit with Irv Glass. It's the attorneys that got to sit down because there's a legal lawsuit, and Irv Glass has directed his attorney not to sit down with the city of Linden.
Okay, be that if it may. The bottom line is, you are the mayor. You are the mayor. And you have to find us a way around this nonsense. Okay? It seemed to me, and according to what the people is strongly suggesting to me, that they told me that you seem to have a very serious personal problem with ShopRite. Do I want to believe that? No. The people suggested this to me. And I'm suggesting to you, sir, if you will, meet with your peoples that work with you, and y'all come to a solution with this. Because it started telling humanity where to shop at and telling the peoples where to shop at. That's a poor decision. We respectfully submit to you. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, October 20th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, October 21st, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, October 21st, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the Council Chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina? Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, and good night, everyone. Thank you.